All right, morning everyone. It's been a little while since I made a video, and it's just things have been busy. Hasn't been a whole lot of maple stuff going on, and when there was maple stuff going on, I just didn't have enough time to make a video. Too busy trying to make everything work. We had a week of Cumberland Fair. That was really good. The fair was crazy busy. Then I went to Freiburg Fair for a couple days. That was busy. Then went right into Maine Maple Fall Fest, and that was good. We kind of canceled Saturday because it looked like it was going to be a washout. Then I was drinking coffee, and it said, "Oh, the weather's going to hold off till late." So I scrambled, put something together, and we opened up. Just had sales out of the sugar house, but that was good. Then Sunday we had donuts and did the tours, and that was a good day too. So got nothing to really complain about with maple right now, but now things are kind of slowing down-ish. Not really. Aaron and I are headed out to New York this week. There's a Leader H2O Innovation dealer meeting we're going to, so should be a lot of new products, I'm guessing, that are coming out. Probably some we won't be able to talk about yet, but be able to take a look at those, and then there's always kind of learning the product line that we have, especially taking on H2O. The big thing I got this spring was the extractors, and really how the H2O extractors work, how they're better, that, you know, if someone needs one, what we need to do on getting them set up so that they get the right extractor. So this dealer meeting ought to be pretty good. We got to go out to Glens Falls, New York. I don't know, it's about 4 hours from here, so the maple world is really getting busy here in a short hurry. Got to get back to making videos because it's time to get some maple work done in the woods and everything else. But I had Steve and Roy reach out to me and ask if I could go back and revisit Josh's woods that we did. That was one of the first videos that I kind of really got into making YouTube videos, and I think that'll actually be a good one because Josh built a new sugar house. It's beautiful, as well as his woods are set up now. And then we can kind of go through where he's at. He's got a lot of good stuff going on over there. So I asked Josh if I'd go over and make a video today. He said yeah, so we'll do that because it's kind of overcast, and then we've got a couple other projects. But now we got to go to the post office. Got to get rid of the returnables, and then get over to Josh's. I do have the sidekick with me. Brooks is pretty excited about what's going on today too, if you can't tell. So we'll go and we'll show you around Josh's place today. So we're over here at Josh's woods, and we're at his tank, and this is a, how many gallon tank again?
600.
600. And it's on, how many taps here did we get set up?
We're on this side, we're at 350. Oh.
Yeah, so 350 taps, and he's got a main that goes out to the left, one up the middle, and one off to the right here.
Yep.
So you're in here, and you're probably what, 60 foot off the road?
Basically that kind of.
Yeah. How are you getting your sap out of here?
So I have a pump line. Actually, it's right beside you. That's a 1-inch piece of main line. So I pump out from here to the road. And then, that is so much better.
Yeah.
Because I was unrolling line each time, and then rolling it back up, and then I'd go back to my sugar shack. But having that hard line and then having it pitched towards the road, so all I have that goes back into my tank is from the bottom of my tank to the vertical maximum height, and that goes back in, and that.
You're not losing any sap then when you pump out.
If I do, it's less than maybe a quart of sap, which for pumping out several hundred gallons, what's a quart on the ground?
Not a lot, not a lot. You're running a horizontal releaser, right?
Yep.
Big one.
An electric releaser would be nice. I can use it, it works, but it didn't save height. That's really the only drawback to right here with this tank. Milk tanks are a little bit tall, and my ground is a little bit flat, and you know, there's always challenges in the woods. You're always trying to make it a little more efficient. You always want that little more pitch.
Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of the thing in southern Maine, is that we're pretty well vertically challenged around here. I mean, there's a little bit of elevation change, but we don't really have rolling hills. We don't have any steep grades, so it makes it easy to walk and tap, but it makes it a challenge to get the sap in, especially, I mean, this tank at the top of it's about 4 foot tall, so then throw a releaser on top of it. I mean, you got some more coming in, but
I mean, so I'm about 6 foot, so that's where it ends. So it's 6 feet where my mains are coming in. You know, and if these tanks are amazing, but you just got to have a really good low spot to put them in.
Right, and that's what we did here. We found the lowest spot we could without being in the swamp, and it kind of is what it is here. So, but yeah, I mean, this woods looks really good. You look at it, the mains go out, they stay. We kind of had to follow the terrain we had, and then the laterals are going off, picking up the 3 to 5 everywhere. You can see a couple branches down on your mains here. It's time to get back in the woods looking.
Yep.
But you kind of had to get creative here because it wasn't so easy to get your vacuum pump kind of where you wanted it. We had a couple different options. None of them really worked good, but you actually moved your vacuum pump over here and ran power to the basically to the tank.
Yep.
So if you do add an electric releaser, then you've already got power here. Homemade moisture trap over there on the tree, saving his pump, but he sets his pump up right here at the tank, sets a releaser on, and then away he goes. But let's go see if we can get some of these branches off. Hold on. These lines are straight and tight. This woods actually looks really good. The blue this time of year is really standing out, so you can see your mains, and like Josh said, you know, you look out and you can see that when you've been in your woods enough, you go, that main, something's wrong with it, and he was able to pick out that tree was down on it. So
it's funny, really, first year from, you know, this will be my 3rd season going into it, you really, your eye catches things that you're not thinking about. You're like, something's not right, and it just, there's definitely a progression.
Yep, for sure. So if you're going to extend this main out on this left side, I would probably hook onto that beech or one of those 2 oaks right there.
Yep.
Just because they're going to be a better tail hold for you.
Yeah.
And then being up higher here, not down next to that little brook,
Yep.
is going to give you a better chance of getting the pitch and connected onto that left side main.
Be easier to walk.
Yeah, I mean, you get out of that swamp and do that, but there's a decent charge of maples. I mean, to pick up another 100, 150 here, I think is pretty possible.
That would be cool.
It just, you've got that little spot that you go through that doesn't have much, and then you're picking up some more. But I would try and split the difference and be more towards the middle, so you can grab the ones on the left and the ones on the right, and keep your laterals about the same.
Yep.
But 100, 150 here, and that honestly works pretty good for you because
tank size.
Your tank's good. You've already got your vacuum pump. You got plenty of line. Your 3/4 main will be good on this. You may be pushing that 200, 250 there, but these red maples, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Especially for this year, this is kind of your easy button to add taps because you don't have to add tanks, you don't have to add pumps. It's just a matter of the time to put the pipe up.
Yep.
So you kind of went, actually it wasn't even kind of, you were boiling outside when you first got a hold of me about wanting to make syrup, and it's like, I want to build a sugar house, set some tubing up, and we get you set up for tubing, but then you kind of took off building the sugar house. So
boiling outside is not as much fun as inside.
No, boiling outside, really, there's one word for that, it's called it sucks.
Yeah.
But this place took shape in a short hurry.
Yeah. Yep, this is, so I had it functional the first year, and I really finished it up 2 or 3 months after my first year with it. So this coming spring will be our 3rd year in boiling in this building.
And how big is it again?
So this is 16 by 24, the actual structure, and it's attached to the milk house, which is the oldest structure on the property, and that is 14 by 16, so it's a smaller building. And then we added the wood shed on 2 sides, which is an 8-foot addition.
And that you didn't do that. You did that the second year, right?
I did.
The slab was there, but not the.
No, I added the slab and the wood shed on the second
slab and the wood shed, and that's made a big difference too.
That's made a huge difference. The firing pit.
Yeah.
The firing pit was your idea. That was really good. You know, it's really nice waist height.
Right. Yeah, that firing pit was one that when Josh said he was building this, it's like, before you pour any concrete, we need to come have a conversation. And I was here for 2 hours explaining what we were going to do. And I don't think you regret it one bit, do you?
No, it was, so you really encouraged me with doing the firing pit, which I would be happy to talk to anybody about how I actually did it. It takes some time, but it's well worth it. And you really encouraged me with the floor drains, which honestly I would put more in if I was to do it again. Floor drains are amazing.
Yeah, you really, I mean, kind of the new thing with floor drains is they're putting them on both sides of the evaporator.
Exactly
so when you wash down, it's just a little bit easier.
It's absolutely what I would do. To Dave Butler, and he said you really, when you're running your evaporator from the front, you want to be able to look and see what your sap is coming in. You want to be able to look and kind of have an idea what your RO is doing. You want to be able to see everything from the spot that you have to be in because you're feeding your evaporator and you're watching your draw offs and you have everything in your immediate space, or it's in your immediate visual space. So you're not panicking, oh, I got to go over here, and when you go over here you're nervous because you didn't look at your evaporator. And
yeah, you found this arch used.
Yep,
had to put a little, it's a basically, this is one of the first generation Inferno, so it's a little bit smaller than the new ones. The firebox is smaller. It needed some work. Some of the pipes were burned out.
Yep.
I had to clean it up, get it painted, and really, other than it's a little bit smaller than the newer Infernos, you can't tell much difference other than its height.
Yeah,
really. And it saved you a bunch of money that got you into this. I mean, you bought max flue pans with a Patriot setup, and what do you think about these?
What's that?
You like these pans?
Yeah. They're, truthfully, I would not buy a 2x6 that didn't have these pans. Personal preference. Everybody has their personal preference. But if you're gonna stay 2x6, you got to get the tall flues. I'm very happy with the max flue pans.
If you didn't know any better, you would think that everything here was new.
Yep.
What were you getting for gallons an hour out of this?
Pretty consistently, I was 50 to 60 gallons an hour. We got that new head tank, and if you charted it on your numbers, it was pretty close.
One thing Josh did too is talking head tank. I'm like, 100 gallons of work, and he opted to go up to the 200. I think it's like a 195. Call it 200 though. Head tank, the liter one. And we had a little bit of an issue with that. The original one the weld wasn't perfect in one spot. Luckily, I had one in stock. I was able to come right over and get you swapped out.
Perfect. And no exaggeration. I called him. He said, I actually offered to fix it myself. He was absolutely not. And I'll have you one by the end of the day. I mean, and the tank was here in 4 hours, which you can't beat that. Yeah, Scott, it's a shameless plug for Scott, but I'll give it. Scott is a great salesman, and he's willing to work with anybody that's willing to communicate. And
you're making me blush.
Well, you are pretty.
So, his RO is out back, and this is the old milk house, right?
Yeah, that's the milk house right across that door.
His RO is back here, and this is the actual old milk house. So it's in here, set up. He's got the wash tank on the side, and then your tanks are actually out in the old milk house. Eventually, there may be a door here getting in, so you don't have to go around.
It's all progression.
Yeah, it's working with what he's got, but this is from when he started, this is a huge step up from boiling outside.
Oh.
Now, one thing neat about this one is his woodshed actually turns. It goes down, then it kind of 45s off, and it keeps going around the back, which he had a tree here he didn't want to cut down, so he kind of made it work and brought his wood around the back. of the sugar house. So he's got plenty of wood here this year compared to past years where he was a little shy on firewood when it was time to start making syrup. So as you can see, Josh has got a really nice sugar house now. He's really making a go of it. The building's beautiful. He's still got some finish work he's doing inside, but I think that's every sugar house. And as you saw too, while I was there, he's like, hey, come look at this piece of woods and see if I've got room for more taps here. And it was a decent charge. They were just further up than we had walked before. So he's probably going to pick up another 100, 150 taps and not have to change much on his system. So that really kind of works for him. So we'll get him set up, get him some pipe. Video should be coming a little bit more steady now as I get back into the woods. It's the right time of year. It's not 1,000 degrees. So we'll try and do a video every Tuesday. Is my goal is to put a video out every Tuesday. So look for that. You got anything to say, Bricks, or are you good? He's just got a tail wag for you. We'll see you in the next one.